Hey everyone, which is nobody yet. So, I like my song of the week thing. I do not own the rights to this music. I think this is the one I've been listening to. Here it is. Hi, Justin. Welcome to the call. Hey, how are you? Nice to see you.
I'll be cooking dinner while we do this.
Okay, no worries. I might ask you to speak. Is that okay?
Yes, it may take me a minute to get everything unmuted, but yeah, that's a problem. No problem.
All right, awesome. We're just gonna give it a couple minutes just so everyone can jump on. I'm probably gonna start at like 6:03. That way it gives them time if they're a minute behind schedule.
No worries.
What are you cooking for dinner?
Steak, skillet potatoes, green bean casserole, and corn on the cob.
So everyone's coming over to your house tonight.
It's a long drive.
Hi, Mac. Welcome to the call. Hello, Mac. Hi, Michael.
Hey, what's up? I like the background music.
Thanks.
I'll be on video in a few.
Okay. I did it. Figuring out how to use all this Zoom technology. it's my song of the week, you know. So I already said I don't own the copyrights to any of this music, you know. So just in case, you know. So we're gonna start in 2 minutes. I was gonna give everyone until 6:03 to jump on. How's everyone's week going?
My week's going fantabulous.
I'm very happy to hear that, sir. All right. So welcome everybody to the Mastermind Law of Success. This is our really our third week, but our second week of recording. And I just want to say welcome to the call, everyone. Did everyone have an opportunity to do their reading?
Yes,
Yeah.
I completed mine.
Okay, awesome. Well, I did my reading too. So thank you all for doing our work or doing what we're supposed to do. And so obviously we did some great reading this last week. And so before I talk, I just want to know, like, what were some of the takeaways? Was there anything that was really interesting or that really stood out? Something that you're maybe questioning? Something you have a question about?
No, not really. Nothing that really stands out. Just the basic discussion that we're gonna have.
Okay. So the mastermind and the structure of the universe, invisible untapped energy was something that I thought was really interesting that he talks about as far as like the brain and the atoms and how everything is constantly moving, right? Like everything around us looks like it's solid, but it's really not, right? Everything is constantly moving. And so, the energy determines whether something attracts or repels. So my question to you guys what were kind of your thoughts on the mastermind, and what did you really think that the mastermind meant, or what do you think it means?
Um, I I got from the reading that the mastermind is really how two different brains can interact with each other when they come in contact with each other. How like some brains are just mesh together right on the spot, and then others do not.
Have you ever had a personal experience of something like that?
Yes, like one of my best friends, like we've been best friends since like maybe like since elementary school, and we always got each other, and we was like best friends since the day one we met, and we had like similar things in common, and some of the weird stuff I like, he actually liked too. Like that weird stuff that you never like to let people know because people are gonna think you're weird, and then
Yeah.
you let somebody know, and they actually does the same thing. So yeah, I had experience like that, and we've been tight like brothers since. So
What about you,
that's
Mike?
when.
Any interactions like that for you?
Well, yes, but what I got from the mastermind is actually that a lot of people today think that they can do things by themselves. And if you look at every success story, they either had a couple people or a group of people that they worked together with, whether it be in the same industry or not. And by doing that, they were able to formulate ideas just based on the energy of the people that they were connected with. So I like this because most people on here are successful, and I can learn from people on here. And I like the chapters that we read because it's really about understanding the basics. In anything you do, it's about understanding the basics of an atom. And yes, sometimes it's hard to fathom, but it just makes sense. It makes sense. That's how it was created. And once you understand that, I think your capability of potential
Justin, I know.
limitless
Okay.
due to the fact that you understand how everything works.
Justin, I know you're cooking us all dinner, but what was your takeaway on the mastermind?
So, well, as Mike was saying about the coming to understand the ether, I think that was kind of a hard concept to grasp. I mean, I understand connections, and obviously working with potentially like-minded individuals who are successful, driven, and moving towards the same goal can help you grow, especially if they are strong in areas that you're not, to help you see those weaknesses, try and strengthen those, but then also capitalize on your strengths.
Okay, very nice. Well, those are all phenomenal takeaways, and I think I concur with everybody. I definitely think that the ether is a huge thing. I absolutely love that he talks about the brain being a broadcasting and a receiving station. And if you really think about it, like when we think, thought is energy, right? So we're projecting our thoughts out. And I mean, the reality is, I don't know if you guys have ever had the experience of being on the exact same frequency as somebody. But a couple years ago, I had a very good friend of mine. She was my best friend at the time. She's still a very good friend, but she's not my best friend anymore. And we were at a party together, and we had been drinking together. And at one point in the night, we were talking to each other. I know this is going to sound crazy. We were talking to each other, but we were not using words. Like I could literally hear her in my mind. And the only reason that we realized that we weren't physically speaking is because someone came in and interrupted our frequency. But we were so in tuned and we were so on the same vibration, the same energy, the same frequency. You know, if you want to think about it like listening to music on your car, right? You turn in a dial, right? And if you turn one dial over, you're going to get a completely different station. And so if you look at the brain from that same capacity, is that in the mastermind, everyone is dialed into the same frequency. So we can literally feel the energy and vibration of the people that we're working with because we're so in alignment. Like you talked about, having harmony and purpose is extremely important. And so has anyone else ever had an experience like that where they've had a friend or someone that they were, talking to without words? Has that ever happened to anybody else besides me on the call? Am I the only one? All right, I'm going to take that as a yes. Wait.
No, it's happened to me before too.
Okay.
I remember I was playing a game with my buddy, and it was one of those like charade games, and he wasn't able to. We had the buzzer going and everything, and we're about to lose, and he literally just made this weird shape with his hand, but I knew what it was. It was just weird. It's fun, but cool.
So you guys had synchronicity, right? You were in complete alignment, complete harmony.
Yeah, and then on the negative side, I know some people here have experienced this where you're driving and you see a cop and you're like, oh, I don't want to get a ticket. Out of happening to get a ticket. So it works both ways, actually.
So attraction. So, I mean, now we're dabbling on the law of attraction. I know some people are believers and non-believers in that whole concept and the theory, but I think the truth is that it's scientifically proven that thoughts are things, and whatever you think, you're either attracting or repelling to yourself. So one of the things that I really like that he said is, I believe that every thought vibration releases by every brain is picked up by the ether. It keeps moving in continuous wavelengths corresponding in length to the intensity. I think that's important too. I think a lot of people miss that. It's really about the intensity of the thought. And so as we go through this, I think that's one of the things that we want to work on together, is really just maximizing the intensity of our thought. Whatever we definitely choose, that definite chief aim is going to be, which is what we're getting into in the coming chapters. And then I did have another question for you guys. So what do you guys think of mind chemistry? Like, do you think it's a valid concept? If you were to add on it or elaborate more about the concept of the chemistry of the mind, what would you add to it? Or do you think that it's poppycock? Do you not believe in the chemistry of the mind? I'll start with Mac.
Yeah, I believe in the chemistry of the mind. But I also believe that, some people have it right away. But I also believe that after spending a lot of time with somebody, you establish that.
That's true.
So I have more of like spending time with somebody with a lot of hours and establish like you don't have to really talk, like you just know what to do, rather than having somebody, know you right from the beginning. I had more of those.
Question about that. Do you think that it's brain chemistry, or do you think that you've learned their habits out of curiosity?
I think this is a combination of both
Okay.
brain chemistry and also, learning the habits. But some people are easier than others. So if you have more chemistry, it will be a lot easier. You don't have the chemistry, I guess you would need more hours to get to know the person to get to the same level.
Or maybe you never do.
That's true too. Some people are just too unpredictable.
Some people you just can't stand and you don't even know why.
I would agree to that. Yes.
I honestly think sometimes though you don't even really meet the people you really can't stand because you can't stand them so much that you're so repelled by them mentally or physically or just the energy that they give off that you guys are in each other's aura. It's like going to a party. There's hundreds, if not thousands of people in a room, right? Well, the truth is you're attracted to a few key people in the room. But why are you not attracted to everyone? You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Well, you think it's the energy? You think it's the energy that they give off, their brain gives off?
Yeah.
The vibrations their brain gives off?
Their brains give off. That you're naturally, I've gone to so many parties and made people my lifelong friends.
Well, Ham, one thing I have to inject here is that I know sometimes it's not brain chemistry. Sometimes it just have to do with looking at with your eyes, visual.
Okay.
So how it's brain chemistry or is this a visual thing?
Okay. Because the people that I've talked to are not people I've necessarily been physically attracted to. We just had great conversation.
Okay.
Like I go to parties and I talk about
it would have been after the conversation that you realize you have to
yeah, well, somehow naturally I just see the person just seeing it because people say hi all the time, right? People talk, but for some reason you get caught in a magnetic connection with some people, and before you know it, you're talking for 34, 45 minutes, an hour, and I mean most people, again, it's about frequency. So some people are on the frequency of like social media, social currency, television shows, right? So I might not necessarily vibe with someone like you and I. We talk about, you talked about investing with me. I told you my dad was an investment banker. So that's like a common vibration or energy because it's something, a wavelength of thought that we both put out into the universe, right? I like real estate and I like business. So I think that you're naturally more prone to people that are in the same lane. Like you're not necessarily going to be as interested in someone that's like not really doing much with their life or.
Well, let me say this. I would be with like people with the same mindset. It doesn't necessarily they have to be in real estate or investing, but they can have like a go-getter mentality and whatever it is, I would probably attach to that.
Perfect. So that's the key point is that you're attracted to people of like mindset.
Yes.
And you're more repelled by people. Like one time I went to a party, this is a random story. I met a girl and I went to it was a party at UCSD, which is a college out here in San Diego. And it happened to be a lingerie party. Okay. I did not have lingerie on, I had jeans on and a t-shirt. Thought the party was weird. I was invited by a friend and I met a girl and she actually had clothes on too. So I thought, well, this girl could be my friend. She's normal, right? And then I talked to the girl and then she asked me, she was like, have you ever done meth and drove your car? It feels like you're playing a video game. Then I realized instantly that we didn't seem to have any mind chemistry. There was nothing for us to talk about. And it was time to leave the party, okay? So I think that in those brief interactions, yes, obviously we're physical and we're identifying people unconsciously, but I think the moment that they open their mouths, you start to either feel warmth and like, oh, I really like this person, I want this to go further, or you feel repelled. And you're like, I really wish this person would shut up and not talk to me anymore.
Yes, I've been there.
Mystery Roles, what do you have to add to the conversation, sir?
Well, I believe in mind. Some people may call it, And that could be a blend, or people can mix that up, because there's so many times where I could just look at someone and I could either know I could vibe with them or I don't. Like, I understand his point of view too. I do catch on the patterns real fast and habits real fast. But I think from our first interaction, whether it be a couple words, you know whether you like this person or don't like them, or if you want to hang out with them or you don't want to hang out with them. You have that that feeling within that first couple seconds. So I do believe in mind chemistry, and I believe that mind chemistry with people of like minds is one of the strongest things on the planet, and that's why I'm excited about this call, because all of us are going somewhere, not sitting stagnant. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on this call.
Facts. Big facts. Mr. Justin, who's cooking dinner for everyone. Sir.
So I've never had those experiences, I don't think. I mean, obviously, I'm more drawn towards people who, especially in military, people who care about things, who actually have drive and want to be successful, not just, in the job, but in all walks of life. So they're very well rounded. And then obviously on the negative side, there's been a lot of people who you can just tell by looking, they carry themselves in a negative way. They put out negative vibes, and you can sense that.
Question, have you ever met someone that you thought had negative vibes or that you thought was not driven and then later stood to be corrected? That's for you.
Not that I can think of.
Really? Wow, that's impressive. So you've been pretty spot on.
Yeah, generally. I mean, sometimes other people, I've had the opposite. Somebody, feigns to be driven or whatever. And maybe they are driven, but they do it off of other people's backs. And then you see kind of the person that they really are.
Got it. So they have more of like a get ahead by using people mentality.
Yes.
As opposed to doing the work.
Correct.
Interesting. If you had to talk about like the mastermind, do you think you've ever had a mastermind with people around you? And if so, has it been beneficial, or what were some of the drawbacks?
I don't know that I've ever like really felt that type of connection, but maybe I just wasn't paying attention to it, aware of it. But I've definitely felt more productive with other people, and who, again, we were clicking, we drived, we were able to come to the same thought process or patterns a lot quicker.
Have you ever worked a project with someone that you were not able to vibe with? And out of curiosity, how were you able to overcome that?
Well, yes, and overcoming it is, you just kind of assign certain tasks and then stay in your lane.
Got it. So not necessarily work with them as much, just kind of give them their things to do, and you do your things, and then eventually come together at some moment or point in time to put it all together.
Yes.
Okay. So we had a little bit short of a read because we did split it between this week and because we all met on Wednesday. So I wanted to talk about where we're gonna go for next week. So we're gonna read until the part of the book called Harmony. And I know we all have different books, but for this book, it would be on page 90. And I'm going to take a picture of it so you can see the words that come before and after. Obviously, if you have any difficulty in finding it or, looking for it, please just let us know. The GroupMe is there. If you guys have questions throughout the week, like I said, post any questions when you finish your reading. If you just want to update everybody, maybe to motivate someone that hasn't done their reading yet, because we're all human, obviously. So sometimes seeing that someone else has done something kind of gives us the little nudge that we need in order to get our work done. Before we wrap up the call, I want to know, does anyone have anything they want to add, any questions they want to ask, or anything like that? Okay, so I'm going to take that as a no. Okay, perfect. So, as always, you guys know it's an absolute pleasure. I'm super stoked. This week, we're going to talk about the meeting of the minds. And it goes really in depth into that whole case scenario. I also did my analysis in the front of the book. I took a picture and I put my scores up for everyone to see. Obviously, you don't have to share your scores with the group if you don't want to. I don't care personally. I mean, at the end of the day, no one's here to judge me but me, and I'm only working on myself. So I try to be as honest with myself as possible. And I don't care if other people see it. The whole purpose of this is to get better and to improve in every way, so I can come out of this winning at the highest level with the team around me, which is you guys. And so, with that being said, I appreciate you guys very much. Next Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be on the same Bat channel. And I look forward to sharing with you guys, growing with you, and really taking this thing to the next level. And in advance, happy Thanksgiving. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night.